page number 1 in Radha Govind Geet booklet. बोलिए लाडली लाल की जय, श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। गुरुराराधना दिश्च गुरु परम दैवतम, गुरो परतरम नास्ति, कृपालु गुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर् गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः, गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म, तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। वंदे बरसाना नंदाम, रंगीली महलवासिनी, राधिकां परमां शुद्धां, ह्लादिनीं शक्तिरूपिणीं, नमः कमलना भाय, नमः कमलमालिने, नमः कमलपादाय, नमस्ते कमलेक्षण, यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं, यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तग्वंह देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं, मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। Eternal seekers of divine knowledge, let's drink the nectar of Radha Govind Geet, a divine composition by Jagadguru Tam Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj. The dohas or couplets that we are going to sing and understand this evening are talking about the eternal questions that every individual soul has had and the answers given by the qualified Guru. Radhe Radhe Govind Govind, Radhe 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 Govind Govind, Radhe 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 Govind. Page 1. Govind, Radhe 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 Govind Govind, Radhe 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 Govind. Everyone please sing and clap. ताली बजाइए, गाइए.
स्वामी मेरे हरि कृष्ण करता को बता दे.
स्वामी मेरे हरि प्रश्न करता को बता दे. प्रश्न करता को बता दे.
स्वामी मेरे हरि प्रश्न करता को बता दे.
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे.
We have many questions in the mind, and those questions have been in our mind, on our mind for countless lifetimes. These are the really important questions. Not every question that enters the mind is important. There are many frivolous questions, many unimportant questions that don't need to be addressed, because addressing them would mean a waste of our time, and time is very precious. But there are some very important questions that beg to be asked, that only very few people ask. Everyone has them, but very few people have the courage to address those questions. These questions are, who am I? Who am I and who do I belong to? Who is mine? Kindly answer these questions of mine. Who am I? Who do I belong to? Who is mine? These three questions, please answer them for me. Jagadguru Uttam Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj gave 103 lectures to explain the answers to two questions Who am I? Who is mine? Main kaun? Mera kaun? So these questions are supremely important. And we cannot ask our family members these questions. We can't ask our friends these questions. We need someone in authority, someone authoritative to answer these questions. If we say, well, I'll go into the Vedas and get the answers, the Vedas are saying, don't pick me up by yourself. Vibhetyalpa shrutat vedo mamayam praharishyati. The Vedas are afraid that if someone just picks them up and starts reading them, that person will surely misinterpret them. There's so much room for misinterpretation. Because when we read the Vedas, we will read them according to our intellectual capacity. The intellect, no matter how great, no matter how advanced it may be, it is still worldly. And the Vedas are divine by nature. So we cannot go into the Vedas and find out conclusively, who am I, who is mine, who do I belong to? These questions cannot be answered by us looking into the Vedas. What about the Gita? That's a very popular scripture. But in the Gita, there is a built-in clause. Shri Krishna says, Idante na tapaskaya na bhaktaya kadachana na cha shushrusha vevachyam na cha mam yobhyasuyati. Do not read this if your life is not an austere life. If you're not a true devotee of God, do not read the Bhagavad Gita. There is something called being deserving. First deserve, then desire. We are not deserving of reading the scriptures because we will surely misinterpret them. Many people say that Ramayana is very easy to understand. Ramayana to sab koi samajh leta hai. Ja padh lo Ramayana. You can read it from the wonderful story point of view, from Ram Leela point of view, the divine pastimes of Bhagwan Shri Ram, but not from the knowledge point of view. Je Shraddha संबल रहित नहीं संतन को साथ तिन्ह कह मानस अगम अति जिन्हि न प्रिय रघुनाथ. Tulsidas ji says, do not pick up this Ramcharitmanas, do not pick up this scripture of mine if you're not a true devotee of Bhagwan Shri Ram. If you do not have full faith in Bhagwan Shri Ram, if you have those doubts lurking in your mind about who Ram is, then do not pick up this scripture of mine. We cannot read the scriptures and get the answers to these three questions, but we can easily get these questions if we are humble enough to submit to a true lover of God, the knower of all scriptures. Gum rauti iti guruhu, girati ajnanam iti guruhu, grinati jnanam iti guruhu. The Vedas say Guru is the one who can dispel your ignorance. Guru is the one who will give you divine knowledge. So Guru is the one who is going to answer these three questions. Kaun hu main, kiska hu, kaun mera. So the Guru explains, Das hu main, Swami ka hu. So through the Guru we understand that I am a servant. We don't like the word servant used for ourselves because everyone wants to be the master. But in fact, we are all servants. We are servants of God. I am a servant. I belong to my master. Who is my master? My master is God. The one asking these questions should know the answers, says the Guru. So the first doha is the question, the one who is asking the question. The second one is the Guru answering the question. The first one is from the inquisitive one who is the aspiring devotee, and the second verse is about, the second doha is from the Guru who is answering the humble inquiry of the disciple and the student. I am a humble servant of God. Someone who has understood this has understood everything there is to understand. The moment we understand that I am a humble servant and my master is the Supreme Lord himself, then he has understood so much. He can now go further and understand how to serve the master, how to think of the master. He can understand the further knowledge, but the basic knowledge is this, that I am the Atma and I belong to Paramatma, the Supreme Soul, and I am a humble servant of my divine master. Das bhutamidam sarvam, say the Purans. I am every individual soul is a humble servant of God. We continue. Hum kaun hare kaun, hum kaun hare kaun, Govind Radhe, Hari se hamara kaun, नाता जना दे.
कौन हरि कौन गोविंद राधे, हरि से हमारा कौन नाता जना दे.
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 हम दास स्वामी हरि, हम दास स्वामी हरि, गोविंद राधे. हरि से हमारा सब नाता बता दे.
हम दास स्वामी हरि, गोविंद राधे. हरि से हमारा सब नाता बता दे.
हरि से हमारा सब नाता बता दे.
हरि से हमारा सब नाता बता दे.
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे, राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे.
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे, राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे.
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे, राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे. Gita Ramayan, we read Lakshmanji is saying to Bhagwan Shri Ram, As abhiman jai jani bhore, main sevak raghupati pati more. I wish always to be proud of the fact that I am a humble servant of my Lord, Bhagwan Shri Ram. This is pure pride. This is not the pride that is damaging. Pride is a vice when it is for the world. But pride is a great virtue when it is directed towards our relationship with God. Just as anger is a vice in the world, but anger becomes a virtue when we direct it towards ourselves. Ha Raghunandan prana pirite, tum binu jiyat bahut din bite. When we become angry at ourselves for not loving God enough, for not having had the darshan of God despite the fact that countless lifetimes have passed, then anger becomes very beneficial for us. In the same way, greed becomes very beneficial for us when it is directed towards God. I am greedy for God. I am greedy for satsang. I am greedy for devotional service, seva. Then greed becomes very, very beneficial for us. As abhiman jai jani bhore. In the same way, pride can be the downfall, and it is often our downfall, but not when it is directed towards God. I am proud of the fact that I am your humble servant and that you are my great master. Once a satsangi said to me, he said, you know, Didiji, I'm a very ordinary fellow. I'm very ordinary. When I look at my face in the mirror, I look at a very plain man, someone ordinary, nothing extraordinary. But then when I think that my guru is Jagat Guruttam, Shri Kripalu ji Maharaj, I feel so proud of him, and everything changes. And that is a wonderful pride. So, hum kaun, who am I? Hari se hamara, or Hari kaun, who is God? And how am I related to God? Because we don't know our relationship with God, because we have not known our relationship with God, we have not connected with Him. Ignorance. There's a saying that is, ignorance is bliss. But this ignorance has been bringing us back to this world time and time again. We have been born in every form of life, 8.4 million forms of life, as you know very well. So we have been born countless times in every possible form of life, and because we have not known our relationship with God. We have not known ourselves, we have not known our relationship with God, we have not found out who God is. But when the merciful Guru comes along, and when we are humble enough to accept that we don't know anything, and that is a wonderful realization, I don't know anything. That's when the Guru can teach the disciple. There was once a scholar who went to a saint and he said, I want a spiritual experience. The saint said, go outside and stand out there. But holy sir, it's raining outside. It's quite heavily. I know. Go stand outside and come back when I call you. So now the scholar is soaking in the rain. He feels like a fool, and he's waiting for a word from the saint. And finally, about an hour later, the saint sends word and he says, come on in. And dripping with water, this man comes in. His clothes are all wet, soaking. And the saint asked him, how do you feel? And the scholar said, I feel like a fool. Congratulations. That's a wonderful experience you've had. This is the experience I wanted you to have. You've come to me. The first thing you need to realize is that you don't know anything, because you think you're a scholar. So as long as you think yourself to be a scholar, you will not learn anything from me. But once you realize that you don't know anything, then you can learn. I'm ready then to teach you. So we really don't know anything until the merciful Guru comes along and teaches us. then we learn that we have every possible relationship with God. Hari se hamara sab nata bata de. Brahma Sutra says, Ansho nana vyapadeshat. The individual soul has many. Nana means many, but in this case it means all possible relationships with the Supreme Soul. Divyo Deva Eko Mata, Pita, Bhrata. The Vedas say God is mother, father, the only father, the only friend, the only destination. God is the everything. God is the all in all for the individual soul. No one else belongs to us. We don't belong to anyone else but God. The only one constant in our existence has been the presence of God. Everything else has changed. The body we get, it changes in every life. Family members, biological family members, they change with every life. Everything changes about us. But the only one constant is the presence of God. God, who has always been with us, remains with the soul always, never forsaking the soul. And that God, that Supreme Being, is our everything. Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. My Lord of Lords, you are my one and only, and you are everything to me. And only you are everything to me. Some people have this realization because they are very, very innocent. They are very innocent in their nature. And they may not have knowledge. This person may be angutha chap. He may be completely illiterate. But he has great faith in God and just has that realization from previous lifetimes that God is my one and only. And others get that realization by being humble. By being humble, we learn from the Guru that God alone is everything to us. Some people say, I don't need to hear any lectures because I already have faith in God. I have faith that God is my everything. However, if that faith is shaky, it can get shaken, then you're in trouble. Somebody may come along and say, God? There's no such thing as God. Arey Bhagwan naam ki koi chidiya nahi hai. Tum kis chakkar mein pad gaye? And give some faulty logics. The one who has faith, but the faith is not strengthened by knowledge, then that faith becomes very shaky. And this is why scriptures say, Avritti rasakridu padeshat. Upadesh ko bar bar suno. Listen to divine teachings again and again. Listen to lectures again and again. Because you will not retain so much after hearing it once. You hear it twice, you can retain more. You hear it again and again, and finally it becomes strengthened, that knowledge hits you, that yes, this is knowledge, this is what I believe. In Satyug, there were people who were so exceptional that they had to listen to the Guru's lecture just once, and they were convinced, and they accepted everything, they retained that knowledge for a whole lifetime. But we are not living in Satyug, we are living in Kali Yuga. Our memories are very, very, very frail. Our attention span is very, very short. So we need to listen again and again to the divine teachings from a qualified teacher known as the Guru. We need to acquire knowledge from the Guru, and we then learn I am the soul, I am related to God in every possible way, and God is my one and only. We become convinced. And that knowledge has to be strengthened. Then the more knowledge we have, the more faith we will have. The more faith we have, the more we will love God. Jane binu na hoi partiti. Goswami Tulsidas ji says, Jane binu na hoi partiti, binu partiti ho hi nahi preeti. Without knowledge, there cannot be any faith, paratiti. Without paratiti or faith, there is no love. So there's a sequence. Knowledge leads to faith, faith leads to love. So the very first thing is to listen, to sit at the lotus feet of the Guru and to just absorb the knowledge. That is the very first step. Next question is asked. Radhe Radhe Govind Govind Radhe 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 Govind Govind Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govind Govind Radhe 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 Govind Govind Radhe
मेरा साध्य क्या है अरु गोविंद राधे
मेरा साध्य क्या है अरु गोविंद राधे
साधना क्या है कोई याय समझा दे
साधना क्या है कोई याय समझा दे
तेरा साध्य हरि सेवा तेरा साध्य हरि सेवा गोविंद राधे साधना श्री कृष्ण ओ भक्ति बता दे
तेरा साध्य हरि सेवा
सब लोग गाइए
गोविंद राधे साधना श्री कृष्ण भक्ति बता दे
साधना श्री कृष्ण भक्ति बता दे
साधना श्री कृष्ण भक्ति बता दे
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे
गोविंद राधे
गोविंद राधे
गोविंद राधे
गोविंद राधे
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे
So the next question is, what is my aim in life? Here we are born in the most desirable form of life as humans, But now, what is to be done? I don't know. And as long as we don't know the aim, we are naturally just wandering aimlessly in the world, not knowing. And not knowing what our aim is, it can be devastating. I read many years ago about a young lady, and she had put an end to her life, and she had written a note for her parents. And she said, please don't blame yourselves, Mom and Dad. I just don't know what my life is about. So I'm ending my life because I'm so confused. I do not know the aim of my life. Not knowing the aim of our life can be so devastating. What is this all about? What is this jigsaw puzzle? I cannot solve it. I don't know the answers. So that was a very sad incident. Not knowing what the aim of life is. So the merciful Guru says, your aim is to serve God. You are the Atma and you belong to Paramatma. Your aim is to serve God. The very word bhakti comes from the root word bhaj. Bhaj ityesha vaidhatu sevayam parikirtitaha. The word bhaj, the root word from which bhakti is made, when you look at the etymology of this word, then bhaj means to serve. So to do bhakti means to serve, to lovingly serve the one who is yours, to lovingly serve God. That is your aim. And how do I fulfill that aim? What is the sadhana? Because we need a complete picture of what we need to do. And the Guru says you must serve him through devotion. Practice devotion to Sri Krishna and serve him in this way. There have been many people there are countless people who have followed countless different types of sadhana, spiritual disciplines. And they have failed. If they have not resorted to devotion, then they have become more confused, they have become misled, and they have become devastated. There's a young lady in our satsang, and she told me that when she was a little girl, she used to come to satsang and she enjoyed it. But you know what happens when teenage years come along? Many teenagers don't see that there is a need for satsang, so she moved away. Her parents were coming to satsang. She said, no, I will look for other paths. And she actually started looking for other paths. And she did find this path or that path. And many years later, when she met me again, she said, I went here and there, and I did look at other paths, and I was not satisfied. Then finally it dawned upon me that what I had learned as a child, that is the best path. I finally realized that what I had learned from Jagadguru Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj, whom my parents had accepted as the Guru, and I had also, but then I thought, let me see what's out there. And I didn't find anything as good as this out there. So now I have come to the realization that this is my path. And now I'm convinced. I am not looking here and there. I'm convinced this is it, the path of devotion. And the one who's guiding me is the topmost authority on devotion. So now I'm convinced. There was an aspiring devotee who asked Sri Maharaj Ji, what is my path in life? I was there as a translator because she did not know Hindi. And so I asked Maharaj Ji, she's asking, ki, mera marg kaun sa hai? Mere liye kaun sa marg hai? What is my path? Sri Maharaj Ji looked at her as if she had 3 heads or 5 heads and just looked at her and said, your path? Everyone's path is devotion. It's not that you have some other path. Everyone's path is the same. You can go to this path and that path and that path. You can, and there's some paths that are made up also. People ask me many questions. And one of the questions that was asked recently was about this one particular path. What is this path? And my answer was, it's not in the Vedas. Someone has just come up with this path. What is Dhyan Yoga? The scriptures tell us about karma, gyan, bhakti, and there's another path, yoga. But now there is another path maybe it's called Dhyan Yoga, another one could be called some other yoga, but these are made up paths, these are made up names, and they will not stand the test of time. When it comes to inventing, people are very inventive. People are very inventive. A while ago, a lot of people in India and abroad, outside of India as well, got very excited. They said, I am following this new guru. He is actually Bhagwan Kalki. Kalki Bhagwan has come. And the question that needed to be asked is, how is Kalki Bhagwan so early? He has come before time. Kalki Bhagwan comes at the end of Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is not over yet. We have only lived 5,000 years in Kali Yuga, little over 5,000 years. And isn't he a little too early? Kali Yuga is 432,000 years in duration, and he has come already. And then after a while, where did Kalki Bhagwan go? Well, I will not answer that. But he went away, and then he's no more. So there's different paths coming up, different personalities coming up. As you have heard Shri Maharaj saying that there are so many Devis and Devtas, and they are in the Vedas. But then there's another one, Santoshima. And how Santoshima came about is from a movie. Someone made a movie about her, and that's how Santoshima was born. And that is sad. And so many women, they're doing Vrat, I'm fasting for Santoshima. And Shri Maharaj pointed out even the name is wrong. It's incorrect. It should be Santoshinima, not Santoshima. But who cares about that? I am doing Vrat. I have great faith in Santoshima. Who is Santoshima? Oh, she's the goddess, divine goddess. I think she's Parvati. No, she's not. She's a figment of someone's imagination. A movie producer, a movie director, and actors, they came up with this. Someone came up with the concept. And now there's Santoshima. So new paths, new personalities come up all the time. I went to Fairfax, Iowa many years ago, and the person who was in charge of advertising my visit asked me very frankly, he said, how would you like to be advertised? I said, I don't follow you. He said, would you like to be advertised as a divine mother? And I said, excuse me? He said, everyone who's come over here is either Divine Mother or is the incarnation of someone. And I said, no, just let me be who I am. You don't need to advertise me as such. That would be, that is shocking to me. Now this is Kali Yuga. And Shri Maharaj says, Kali Yuga is such that there are more gurus than disciples. So the new gurus are being born every day, and this one is a guru, that one is a guru. He may not know the scriptures at all, but he's known as a guru. And there's a large following. And what he may be saying is, if you hear it, those of you have heard Shri Maharaj's lectures. When you hear the words of this so-called guru, you would be shocked. You're not succeeding in life because when you eat samosas, you're eating red chutney with it. And red means stop. You need to eat hari chutney, green chutney. Now, it sounds funny. It makes you laugh, and it's very sad at the same time. What are you saying? Oh, no, before leaving the house, when you left the house, did you step out with your left foot or the right foot? Did you look at the foot of your husband when you... No, I didn't look at his feet. Was I supposed to? He always wears socks. and it's, in Hindi we say ulul julul. It's just something, the words that have no meaning whatsoever. And then these people are being known as gurus. And there's a huge following. And it's quite sad. So there's new paths being created, and naive people start with that. Oh, there's a new path, and it's all the rage. It's like there's a new fashion. There's a new guru, and I'm accepting him because so many people have accepted him. There's a new path, and it looks very nice. So many people are following it. The only path that is going to take us there is devotion, the path of bhakti. There is no other path. Shri Maharaj used to say, you want to reach your aim in life? It's like you want to hold on to your nose. That's your aim in life. You can do it like this, so simple and easy. But you want to do it the long way? You can take your hand right over here like this and touch your nose. Why do it like that when you can do like that? That's it. Why go through the path of karma, dharma, and yoga and gyan when you know that ultimately you have to come to devotion anyway? Why waste so much time? Lifetimes and lifetimes are spent on the path of gyan, the path of knowledge, and yet going right to the topmost ladder in this path, you can still fall down. You can still fall down. And then you need devotion. Ultimately, you need devotion. So there is only one path. The true guru, the genuine teacher, will tell you that. So Jagat Guru Tam Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj says there is one path for everyone. His path, the path he propagates, does not change according to who he's talking to. There's only one path, and that is it. That is an eternal path. It is a path that is recommended by the Vedas and Vedic scriptures. It is the path of love, the path of bhakti, the path of devotion. So you will reach your aim, and your aim is to serve God. You can serve Him through the path of devotion. Now the devotee wants to know, what should I desire and what should I not desire? क्या क्या चाहे तू, क्या क्या चाहे तू, गोविंद राधे, क्या क्या ना चाहे तू, यह भी बता दे।
Radhe Radhe Govind Govind
Radhe Govind, Govind Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Govind, Govind Radhe. Radhe Radhe Govind, Govind Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Govind, Govind Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Govind, Govind Radhe.
Govind Radhe.
Govind Radhe.
Govind Radhe.
Govind Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Govind, Govind Radhe. Radhe Radhe Govind, Govind Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Govind, Govind Radhe. Radhe Radhe Govind, Govind Radhe.
It's very important to know what we should be desiring in life. So the question is asked, what should I desire and what should I not desire? So the answer is, desire only selfless love. I do not desire pleasures of Maya, nor do I desire liberation or the majestic abode of Vaikunt. So the greatest thing to desire is selfless love. And that means that by desiring selfless love, we attain the sweetest nectar of God. Because we're not satisfied with anything less than the sweetest nectar. And so the Rasik saints recommend that we only desire selfless love, Nishkam Prem. Pleasures of Maya are definitely, they give only temporary pleasures. They give only temporary pleasure. They don't give everlasting happiness. And liberation, meaning merging within Brahma, then we are not there to taste that nectar. There's no one there to taste that nectar. So why should I become a part of that nectar when I cannot taste it? So the devotee says, I don't want even liberation. What about Vaikunt? Vaikunt Lok. But that is majestic. I don't want the majesty. I don't want God's majestic aspect. God is God, yes, but God is much more than that. He is more than the Supreme Lord. And in order to taste the sweetness of God, we need to bring him down to our level. And he readily and willingly and happily comes to our level. And he becomes our very own master, very own friend, our very own child, and very own beloved. So these relationships need to be we need to connect with him through these 4 relationships. We don't want the majesty of Vaikunt. We don't want that distance between ourselves and God. And Mahavishnu is the majestic aspect of God. It is, you can say, God being God. It's like a Supreme Court judge. Let's say the judge has his robes on and he's looking various. He's deciding matters of life and death. He does not want his mother to come to the court. He doesn't want his mother. The mother says, I want to see you. No, you won't like it. He doesn't want, and his family also does not want to come. They saw him once. They said, we don't want anything to do with you when you're in the court. But when he gets home and he's no longer in those majestic robes, and he is just wearing his casual clothes, and he is giving piggyback rides to his child, then that is what his family wants to see. They don't want to see him as a judge who has so much power in his hands that he's deciding matters of life and death. They want him as a loving father, as a loving husband, as a loving son. He's so qualified, but his wife says to him, and this is a real story Shri Maharaji told us, that once Shri Maharaji went to a house, and he was very casual, and people were very casual and very welcoming to him. Shri Maharaji walked into the house, and he saw, or rather he heard, husband and wife having an argument, and the wife was saying to the husband in a very loud voice, "Tumhe damdi ki akal nahi hai. You have no sense whatsoever. You're such a fool." And this man is highly qualified. And the wife, she was completely illiterate. And Shri Maharaji, when they saw Maharaji, they were shocked. And Shri Maharaji smiled and said, I heard a wife saying to her husband that he doesn't have any sense, that he's completely foolish. And the wife, now still she's defending her position. She's saying, but Maharaji, it's true, he forgets all the time. Maharaji says she's still defending her position that he is a fool. And yet she is illiterate herself. So when you love someone, you don't want to see their majestic aspect. Shri Maharaji's mother, Bhagavati Maya, we perform arti to her. And she was completely illiterate, but she was a great personality, of course. And Shri Maharaji was asked once by a devotee, Maharaji, were you ever scared in your life of anyone? Maharaji said, yeah, I was scared of my mother. His mother. Shri Maharaji would say, he would tell us stories, and he would say that when my mother used to be angry with me, she would say very sarcastically, oh, Jagat Guru ke bitua, hiya ava. She would say, oh, great Jagat Guru. She would say sarcastically, come over here. And Shri Maharaji said, I would tremble like a leaf because she was my mother. And she would chastise me. She would scold me. And that is the beauty. If she were to think of him as a Jagat Guru only, and that he is a great, great personality, then she couldn't love him as her son, could she? But while we're on the subject of Maharaji's mother, the very unique thing was that she regarded him as her guru as well as her son. Both relationships were there. But when she was treating him as a son, she did not have any thoughts that he was her guru as well. She used to sing a very beautiful song, Guru Ji ki Mahima ka barunu Rama. Oh my Lord, how can I glorify my guru? How do I find the words to glorify my guru? And she sang that for Maharaji. As she is sitting on the cot at a very old age, Maharaji is kneeling beside her on the ground, and she was stroking his head, stroking his arms, and yet calling him her guru and saying, I have no words to glorify my guru with. But then she would scold him. So I don't want even the Lord of Vaikunt. I don't want even that. I want him to be my beloved. I want him to be my child. I want him to be my all in all. And I desire to be deprived of worldly opulence. Kunti had said to Bhagwan Shri Krishna, Vipadah santu nashashvat tatra jagad guru bhavato darshanam yatsyad punarbhava darshanam Bhagavatam. O Shri Krishna, I wish to be deprived of worldly opulence. I want you to take away everything from me, because I do not wish to have the pride of having wealth and having good health and having beauty. Take everything away from me. And I want the gift of selfless devotion, the selfless devotion that the gopis have. I want that. That is what I desire. I wish to desire nothing from you. I wish to give you my everything. I wish to have selfless devotion, which is the highest, the greatest accomplishment and achievement and the greatest gift from God. Hari tera sukh chahun, Hari tera sukh chahun, Govind Radhe nij sukh nahi chahun, uttar bata de. Hari tera sukh chahun, Govind Radhe nij sukh nahi chahun, मेरी जड़ से मिटा दे।
कछु नहीं चाहूँ तो सो गोविंद राधे, यह चाहूँ चाह मेरी जड़ से मिटा दे।
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे,
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 राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे, राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे,
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे, राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे,
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे,
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे,
गोविंद राधे।
गोविंद राधे।
The true devotee taught by a true guru says, O Shri Krishna, I desire your happiness and I do not have any desire for my own happiness. Then the question arises, but everyone wants their happiness. Why deny yourself that happiness? No, the Guru says you will receive the greatest happiness once you get rid of all your desires. Once you get rid of the desire for your happiness and you work only for the happiness of Shri Krishna, then you will be blessed with the sweetest happiness, the greatest of all happiness. So you're not depriving yourself of happiness, you are actually striving for the greatest happiness. I do not desire anything from you, I only desire for my desires to be destroyed from the very root. Isn't it silly to go to God, the Lord of innumerable universes, who can give us such amazing gifts, and ask Him for bhukti, mukti, for pleasures of Maya and for liberation, when we can have the sweetest nectar of selfless love, the highest, the best gift that He has to give. So a saint has said, Ushitva Jahnavi Tire Kupam Khanati Durmatihi. He indeed is the greatest fool who goes to the holy river Ganga. He goes to the shore and starts digging a well. You have holy waters over here in the river Ganga. Why are you digging a well? In the same way, you have the Supreme Lord Krishna who can give you unlimited love and happiness, and yet you're asking Him for liberation and even such low things as pleasures of Maya, pleasures that exist in this world, the pleasures of Swargalok also combined, they're called bhukti. Why would you ask for bhukti and mukti when you can have the greatest treasures? By not asking anything, He will give you the greatest treasures. By asking, you'll end up with small things. So you do not ask for anything. There's a story told about a beggar, and the beggar heard that the King of Kings was going to be in the kingdom in his chariot, and the beggar started thinking, when perhaps I will see the chariot, and what if, as I am waiting on the roadside, the chariot stops right in front of me, and what if the King of Kings alights from the chariot, and what if the King of Kings comes and stands right in front of me, and what if the King of Kings asks me, my good man, what can I give you? Then I will ask for this and that, and I would ask him for this much gold and these gems, and I will ask him for so much, and I'll never be poor in my life again. Well, it just so happened that the King of Kings, riding on his chariot, the chariot stood right before this beggar, and the beggar could not believe his eyes when he saw the King of Kings coming down from the chariot and standing before him. And the beggar was so happy, anticipating what was going to happen next. But he was very surprised when the King of Kings asked, my good man, what can you give me? What? What can I give you? But you're the King of Kings, he thought. So he reached into his bag that he had begged for some rice, and he gave 1 grain of rice to the King of Kings. The King of Kings smiled and went back to the chariot. The beggar went home very disappointed. What happened? This was not the way it was supposed to happen. So then he thought, well, I may as well cook this rice and eat. And then he laid down the rice to clean it, and there he saw something shiny. What is this? Oh, this grain of rice is turned into gold. Oh my goodness. I gave the King of Kings 1 grain of rice, and he gave me 1 grain of gold. Had I given him all the rice, I would have ended up with so much gold, so much wealth. If we just give a little bit to God and say, this is the least I can do, and this I will give you the least, then God says, okay, I'll give you a little bit too. But if we trust him and love him enough to say, I'll give you everything, I want nothing for myself, I don't want my happiness, I want to please you, Tat Sukha Sukhitvam, the highest principle of the gopis, as Naradji has recorded in Narad Bhakti Darshan. Tat Sukha Sukhitvam, one of the 84 sutras. I want to work only for your happiness. Then the King of Kings, the divine king, the divine master, Shri Krishna, he says, I will give you everything I have. This is why, and this is the reason Jagadguru Uttam Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj says, do not desire anything. These are his words. Radha Govind Geet is his divine composition, an amazing composition combining knowledge and sweetness, knowledge and of scriptures, as well as sweet pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So sweet, very, very sweet. So in these verses, Sri Maharaji has talked about the basic questions, which are the most important questions that anyone can ever ask. And ask these questions, we must. Otherwise, life is not worth living if we don't even ask these questions. Should we get so busy with, as we say in Hindi, roti, kapda, and makan? That's it. What I'm going to eat, where am I living? Just things pertaining to the body? That's all that our life is about? It cannot be. We have received this most precious form of life, the greatest treasure in the form of human birth. So we have a responsibility as well. And the responsibility is to find out what our aim in life is, and our aim, and to fulfill that aim. And God gives us the Guru. He has provided the Guru like no other, Jagadguru Uttam Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj, to help us fulfill that aim. So we're not lacking anything. The only thing lacking, if there is anything lacking, that is our effort. Shri Maharaji has answered the questions, the eternal questions that we've had so beautifully in Radha Govind Geet. Boliye Shri Radha Govind Geet ki jai. Jagadguru Uttam Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj ki jai. Ladili Lal ki jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri